The World Food Programme has suspended crucial aid to Syrian refugees because of a funding crisis. The UN agency has been giving food vouchers to refugees in Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq and Egypt. Now it says more than 1.6 million Syrians could go hungry over the northern winter. The agency is appealing to donor countries to urgently make good on commitments for more than $60 million in aid. Mohammed Hadi is the Regional Emergency Coordinator for the World Food Programme in Syria. We do appreciate you giving us some of your time this evening. Give us a sense of exactly how much money you have left to run this programme.
Good evening. Well, there's really not much money remaining for us. Basically, the reason why we had to stop the operation is we ran out of money for the refugees, and that's why we had to suspend the operation. What we need immediately is $64 million to make sure that the refugees in the neighboring countries receive their food for the month of December, which is a very harsh winter here in the region.
So what conditions, give us a sense of the conditions that they are living in at the moment and what would happen to them if they did not receive the vouchers that you give as part of this programme?
Well, basically the living conditions are difficult. Some of them are living in Lebanon in informal camps, in some settlements where they have no access to heating. The winter is difficult in both countries, Lebanon and in Jordan. Basically people will, at this stage, who are totally dependent, by the way, on the World Food Programme to feed them, have no other option. They basically now have to resort to negative coping mechanism, which is something breaks our heart in the World Food Programme. We probably will be seeing some early marriages for the girls. We probably will see some of their parents may take their kids out of school to put them maybe even on the streets to get some ad hoc jobs here and there, making them available for exploitation. Those who have access to some income will most probably be buying food which is not nutritious for their children, and they will probably be skipping 1 or 2 meals a day. Some of them may live on 1 meal a day. The situation is really catastrophic for the Syrian refugees.
The vouchers that you provide for them to buy food is also very critical to the economies of the countries that have accepted them. And I understand that there could be some problems within those communities if they no longer have the money to spend.
Well, the way that we designed the program is also we took into consideration the economies of the neighboring countries. So far, we've invested more than $850 million in the economies, mainly in the economies, by the way, of Jordan and Lebanon, where most of the refugees are. The local communities are benefiting from this, and the economies are benefiting from this. And by the way, when we say $850 million for economies like Jordan and Lebanon, it's a quite significant amount of money. I mean, this is not the economy of Australia we're talking about.
No, but what do you think could happen? How could the community break down? How could the community potentially reject these refugees, and if this funding is not continued?
Well, we're hoping we will not get into this to that stage, but it's a possibility that there could be tension rising in the coming period. And as a matter of fact, the way we have our voucher program, one of the ideas behind it was the issue of protection and reducing tension between refugees and the local communities, because it's very difficult in Jordan and in Lebanon to tell if the shopper at a supermarket, if he's a refugee or a Jordanian. The refugees simply have credit cards. They go to supermarkets and they do the shopping, and they're actually very proud of this dignity, of this way of giving them food, which is, they call it dignity food, because it retains their dignity even if they are refugees.
Could the UN not have provided you with emergency funding?
we tried we were trying with everybody, with the UN, of course, with the donor countries, with our traditional donors. And we're also now, we have been talking to donors, to the regional donors, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the rest of the GCC countries. We did not spare an effort. We're speaking to everybody, making sure that the situation, I mean, they are already aware of the situation, but we're conveying the message again, telling them that, as you know, unfortunately, there will be hundreds of thousands, 1.7 million people, most of them are women and children, will basically have no access to food. I mean, seriously, not just as a humanitarian worker who have been working for the World Food Programme for 23 years, but even as a parent, as a father, I find it very difficult. How will the Syrian fathers or a mother explain to his child that, sorry, we will not have dinner on the table tonight, we don't have access to food tonight, and the kids know that they are depending on this food and they're depending on this assistance. It's really a heartbreaking situation for us to see the refugees, because we see them every day, we work with them. We see them. I personally worked in Syria before for 4 years, and I know the situation there. It breaks my heart to see us get to this situation.
Mohamed Hadi, we do appreciate your time. Thank you very much.